Most people over 60 are carrying more retained waste than they realize. Researchers studying colonic transit in older adults have found that material can sit in the intestine for 60 to 70 hours, sometimes longer, before passing. And here's the thing, you wouldn't know it, you'd have no idea, because you might still be going to the bathroom every morning, thinking everything is fine, thinking the system is working, but going to the bathroom and actually clearing out what's built up inside, those are two very different things. Think about it this way, imagine a kitchen drain that still lets water through. It's slow, but it drains. You wouldn't call a plumber, but if you could see inside that pipe, the layer of grease and old residue narrowing the opening to half its size, you'd realize the pipe hasn't been truly clean in years, and you've been living with that half-blocked pipe and calling it normal. That's what's happening inside the large intestine for millions of people right now, and most of them feel it every single day, but blame it on something else entirely. And the worst part? There is one specific sign, one thing almost everyone over 60 experiences, that is directly connected to this, and almost nobody links the two together. I'll come back to that in a moment, because first you need to understand why this happens in the first place. See, your gut at 65 is not the same gut you had at 35, not even close, and nobody sits you down and explains this. Your doctor doesn't walk you through it, it just quietly changes. Here's what actually happens. Let me walk you through the mechanics, because once you see it, everything makes sense. First, your digestive enzymes drop. The pancreas produces these enzymes that break down every piece of food you eat, proteins, fats, carbohydrates. But after about age 30, enzyme output starts declining by roughly 10% every decade, starting in midlife. So by the time you're in your 60s or 70s, you may be working with significantly less enzyme capacity than you had in your 30s. That means food isn't being broken down as thoroughly. Larger partially digested particles reach your colon, and the colon was never designed to handle that workload. Second, and this is the one most people don't realize, the muscles in your intestinal wall get weaker. There's a nerve network called the myenteric plexus that controls the wave-like contractions pushing food through your gut. According to research published in neurogastroenterology and motility, by age 65, you've lost roughly a third of the neurons in that network. A third? That's like trying to run a conveyor belt with a motor that's lost a third of its power. Things slow down, they stall, waste sits in one place for hours longer than it should. Third, your gut lining dries out. The mucus layer that keeps everything lubricated and sliding, it thins. Less mucus means more friction, slower transit, and waste that starts to adhere to the walls instead of passing through cleanly. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. When waste sits in the colon too long, it doesn't just sit there quietly. Bacteria begin to ferment it. They produce gases, methane, hydrogen sulfide, and the bacteria release waste products of their own, compounds that when the gut wall is thin and weakened, begin seeping through into the bloodstream. Your gut was designed to keep those out, but a compromised lining can't always do that job. A research team in Belgium published this in a major journal back in 2007. They demonstrated that these gut-derived compounds entering the bloodstream triggered low-grade systemic inflammation, not the kind of inflammation you feel as pain, the kind that quietly fatigues you, clouds your thinking, and makes you feel 10 years older than you are. You know what's interesting about that? Most people have already felt this and simply accepted it. That slow, foggy, heavy feeling in the morning. Which brings me to the sign I mentioned earlier. If you've ever woken up feeling bloated, before you've eaten anything, before breakfast, before your first sip of coffee, just heavy and puffy and sluggish from the moment your feet hit the floor, that is not normal aging. I know it feels like it is. I know it's easy to say, well, I'm 67. This is just how mornings feel now. But it's not. It's a signal. During sleep, your body is supposed to run a cleaning cycle. There are these waves called migrating motor complexes, MC waves, that sweep through the small intestine like a janitor going through the hallways after everyone's gone home. They clear out residual debris, leftover particles, bacteria that have migrated where they shouldn't be. But when gut motility is compromised, when that nerve network has thinned and those muscles have weakened, the MMC doesn't finish its job. You wake up with yesterday's waste still sitting in there. And the gas produced by its fermentation overnight is what causes that puffiness before you've eaten a single thing. So now you understand the problem. The engine has slowed down, the pipes are partially clogged, the overnight cleaning crew is understaffed. The question is, what do you do about it? And the answer? Let me think about how to say this properly. The answer is almost embarrassingly simple. 1 spoon, 1 ingredient, before breakfast, that's it. The ingredient is something you may have walked past 100 times at the pharmacy without giving it a second thought. It's called psyllium husk. the outer shell of a tiny seed from a plant called Plantago ovata, and what it does inside your body is unlike anything else in the natural world. This isn't some trendy supplement that showed up last year on social media. This has been used in traditional Ayurvedic medicine for over 2,500 years, and in modern clinical research, it is one of the most studied fibers in existence. Over 800 clinical trials reference it. The FDA has even authorized a specific health claim for it, which they almost never do for natural ingredients. But here's what matters. Not the history, not the credentials. What matters is what this stuff physically does inside your body, because it's remarkable when you actually visualize it. You take 1 level teaspoon, about 5 grams, and you stir it into a glass of warm water. Within 60 seconds, it begins absorbing that water. Not a little. Psyllium absorbs roughly 10 to 14 times its own weight in liquid. It transforms into this thick, viscous gel, almost like a soft, clear pudding. Now, you drink that on an empty stomach, 20 to 30 minutes before breakfast. It hits your stomach. It expands. That gel moves into the small intestine, and as it travels, it does something mechanical, something physical. It presses gently against the intestinal walls. That pressure loosens old, adherent waste, the residue that's been sitting there. The gel traps that debris the way a lint roller picks up dust. It catches old mucus, bacterial byproducts, and metabolic waste that's been clinging to the lining. As it reaches the colon, the bulk of the gel stretches the colon wall slightly, which triggers the natural stretch reflex, the same reflex that initiates a healthy bowel movement. Your body's own signaling system kicks in, not from a chemical, not from a stimulant, from a physical, mechanical trigger. And while all of this is happening, something else is going on that most people don't talk about. The beneficial bacteria in your colon, your bifidobacteria, your lactobacillus, they begin to feed on the psyllium. They ferment it and produce short-chain fatty acids, especially one called butyrate. And butyrate is the single most important fuel source for the cells lining your colon. It literally nourishes and repairs the gut wall from the inside. So you're simultaneously sweeping waste out and feeding the repair crew that rebuilds the lining behind it. I've heard people describe this in a lot of different ways over the years, but the one that stuck with me most, someone once said it felt like their gut finally exhaled. That's exactly what this is. You're giving your gut permission to let go of what it's been holding on to. Now, the benefits go far beyond just moving old waste out. And this is where it gets really interesting, because most people come to Psyllium for the gut relief, but they stay for everything else. The first thing people notice, often within the first 24 hours, is that their bloating drops. Not gradually over weeks. Quickly, because once that gel starts moving stagnant material through, the bacteria that were fermenting it and producing gas suddenly have less fuel, less fermentation, less gas, less bloating. If you're the type who looks 3 months pregnant by dinner time even though you barely ate, this is likely why, and it can shift fast. The second benefit caught me off guard when I first read the research. Psyllium significantly supports healthy blood sugar levels after meals. A meta-analysis from 2018 looked at 35 clinical trials and found that in people managing blood sugar issues, Psyllium consistently flattened those dangerous spikes that happen right after eating. Even in people without diabetes, the post-meal effect was measurable. The mechanism is beautifully simple. The gel slows down gastric emptying. Food leaves your stomach more gradually, which means glucose enters your bloodstream more gradually. No spike, no crash, no mid-morning energy collapse. Think of it as a speed bump for sugar absorption. Third, Psyllium feeds your immune system, not directly, indirectly, because 70 to 80% of your immune cells live in the gut, in something called the gut-associated lymphoid tissue. When the gut lining is healthier and beneficial bacteria are thriving, your immune system has a stronger foundation. It's not that Psyllium boosts your immunity like a vitamin, it's that it creates the environment where your immune system can actually do its job. Fourth, that morning heaviness I talked about earlier, that foggy, heavy feeling when you wake up. When waste moves efficiently overnight, when the bacteria are producing butyrate instead of harmful fermentation byproducts, you wake up lighter, actually lighter, not just physically but mentally. A friend of mine who spent 30 years as a physician told me he started recommending Psyllium to his patients, not for constipation, but for morning fatigue. He said the turnaround in some of them was extraordinary. But the last thing on this list, this one surprised even me, and it has nothing to do with digestion direct. You know that 90 to 95% of your body's serotonin is produced in the gut, not the brain. The gut. A team at Caltech published this in the journal Cell back in 2015. Serotonin, the molecule most associated with mood, calm, emotional stability, and quality of sleep. When your gut bacteria are healthier, When the lining is intact and butyrate is abundant, serotonin production is supported. This isn't a mood drug. It doesn't work the way a prescription does, but it creates the internal conditions where your body has a better chance of producing the chemistry it was designed to produce. That's not just a digestive benefit. That's waking up and feeling like the world isn't sitting on your shoulders before you've even had breakfast. Now, let me give you the exact preparation so you can try this tomorrow morning. No guessing, no confusion. Get yourself a pure, unflavored Psyllium husk powder. Not the flavored versions with added sugars and artificial sweeteners, just the plain husk. The one I personally use and recommend is organic, unflavored, nothing added, nothing removed. I'll leave the link below if you want the exact same one. Take 1 level teaspoon, put it in 8 ounces of warm water, not hot, not cold, warm. Stir it vigorously for about 10 to 15 seconds. It'll start thickening fast, so drink it within a minute or two. Then follow it with another full glass of plain water. This second glass is not optional. I'll explain why in a moment. Do this 20 to 30 minutes before your first meal of the day. If you want, you can add a squeeze of half a lemon. The citric acid supports enzyme activation in your stomach, or half a teaspoon of raw honey, which has its own prebiotic properties and makes it easier to drink. I'd avoid mixing it with dairy. Proteins in milk can interfere with how the gel forms. Same with very hot coffee, better taken separately. And avoid carbonated drinks. The carbonation causes the gel to expand too rapidly, and you'll feel uncomfortable. Anyone currently taking medications, especially blood thinners or diabetes medication, please have a quick conversation with your doctor before starting this. Psyllium can affect the absorption timing of certain drugs. Usually 2 hours apart is sufficient, but your physician should confirm that. Here are 3 mistakes I see people make that completely kill their results. Mistake number 1, taking it after breakfast instead of before. This changes everything. The gel needs to form on an empty stomach and coat the intestinal lining before food arrives. If you take it after eating, it gets trapped in the food mass and loses most of its sweeping action. Research specifically shows that Psyllium's blood sugar benefits are tied to pre-meal dosing. After the meal, the effect drops dramatically. Mistake number 2, not drinking enough water. This is the big one. Remember, Psyllium absorbs 10 to 14 times its weight in water. If there isn't enough water in your system, it will pull moisture from your intestinal contents instead, and that creates the exact opposite of what you want. Harder stool, more discomfort. That second glass of water is not a suggestion. It's essential. And mistake number 3, this is the one that breaks my heart because it's so unnecessary. Quitting after 2 days because you don't feel a dramatic change. Here's what most people don't understand about what's happening inside on day 3. Your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in your colon, needs 7 to 14 days to begin meaningfully shifting in response to a new prebiotic food source. The first few days you might actually feel slightly more gassy than usual, and most people think that's a bad sign. It's the opposite. That gas is the sound of your beneficial bacteria waking up and starting to feed. Push through to day 7, day 10, day 14. That's when the real shift happens. That's when regularity stabilizes, bloating drops, and you start waking up feeling different. A 2019 trial published in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences tracked adults over 55 who took Psyllium daily for just 2 weeks. By day 14, they had measurably higher levels of bifidobacteria, increased short-chain fatty acid production, and significantly improved stool consistency. 2 weeks. That's all it took for the gut environment to begin transforming. Oh, and one more thing most people don't know. If you add just half a teaspoon of cold-pressed black seed oil to this same morning drink, what happens to your gut lining is actually remarkable. Black seed oil, Nigella sativa, has been used in medicine across the Middle East and South Asia for over 2,000 years. But the compound researchers are now focused on is called thymoquinone, a potent anti-inflammatory that appears to specifically target the gut lining. A study published in 2022 in the journal Nutrients looked at what thymoquinone does to the integrity of the gut wall in adults with metabolic issues. Specifically, how well that wall holds together and prevents harmful compounds from seeping into the bloodstream. They were measuring leakiness markers directly, and what they found was that thymoquinone measurably reduced those markers. In plain language, it helps seal the gaps in the gut lining that allow inflammatory compounds to escape. Now think about what happens when you combine these two things in the same morning drink. The psyllium forms a gel, sweeps the walls, carries out old waste, and feeds the beneficial bacteria. The black seed oil comes in behind it and supports the structural integrity of the lining itself. One is the cleaning crew, the other is the repair crew, working together in the same glass of warm water 20 minutes before breakfast. And the cost of this entire daily ritual, we're talking pennies. Genuinely, pennies a day. What makes this combination Particularly interesting to researchers is that the butyrate psyllium appears to help the gut lining cells use thymoquinone more effectively. They seem to work better together than either one does alone. And if that holds up in larger trials, it would mean that this simple morning routine, 30 seconds to prepare, almost nothing in cost, could be one of the most researched, most practical daily habits available to someone over 60 who actually wants to feel the difference in how they wake up every single morning.